Louisiana versus all y'all. Jarrett Roser here with Catholic-Pointe Coupee star Matthew Langlois, who has been blowing up on the recruiting trail, a key piece of the Hornets' run this past year to the Superdome and playing for a state championship and getting ready for his senior year now and having some things fall into place to have some great options playing beyond that at the college level. And Matt, man, thanks for taking a couple minutes to join me. How has everything been going overall?
Oh yeah, thank you for inviting me. Everything's good, just trying to stay busy and keep working through this quarantine. I think it's almost about over, thank God. But yeah, it's everything's fine.
For you, I guess, what is in terms of trying to stay active and get some work in under these weird circumstances, what does that kind of looked like for you? What ways have you been able to kind of keep up with some things?
I have just about everything you would need that would have if we weren't in quarantine. I have a squat rack, bench, a tire I pull, for conditioning. I have a big backyard I can run in. I have cones I do drills on. I have just about everything you would have in a weight room. So I'm pretty set when it comes to conditioning and working out.
Yeah, it's been interesting to me with the stoppage and everything to hear how much people talk about like the NFL guys and NBA guys who somehow don't have like a basketball goal and haven't shot a ball in 2 months. When I realize how many people have home gyms, and I
Yeah.
don't, but one of my friends does, and I'm able to work out there, and within a week I was looking at should I get a basketball goal online, and so it's been kind of crazy to hear folks who haven't, but that's awesome to hear that you were all set up and able to keep up with it through a lot of this. Um, on the
Yeah,
on the
definitely.
recruiting side, I know it's been really busy for you too. You have a ton of offers that have all fallen into place. Some of the schools from around the state, the Cajuns down there in Lafayette nearby, Tulane in New Orleans, Louisiana Tech has been really big on you. Arkansas State, Arkansas-Monticello, South Alabama, Navy, and you've had some big Power Fives come in here of late, including Northwestern today, Vandy this week, your first SEC offer, Arizona, Boston College, Kansas State, Wake, Virginia, and hearing from a lot of other schools around the country. We were talking about Washington State, kind of checking in and getting to know you a little bit. I mean, for a guy in New Roads, what is that like to start to take those Zoom calls from all over the country and be having those conversations like you have a lot today and really throughout this process?
It's great, I go to a pretty small school. I didn't know that I was gonna be recruited this heavily, especially by these great schools that are recruiting me. But yeah, so like at the beginning of my high school career, I wasn't sure. I always wanted to go play college football, obviously. That was always my dream. But I wasn't sure if I was gonna be recruited, But I just kept working my tail off, and I'm here now. All my work paid off, and I'm getting some offers and stuff, which is good. But I'm still remaining humble throughout this recruiting process, and still working. So, but yeah, definitely around here, New Roads is a pretty big deal. I don't brag or anything. I'm staying humble. There haven't been many recruits coming through Catholic-Pointe Coupee, but I made it happen. I stayed here. I wasn't gonna go to another high school. This is where I wanted to stay. It's where my family lives, where all my friends are. So, I stayed here. I have a great coach and great teammates that helped me, get to where I'm at right now.
And I told you, I just in kind of thinking about how big this was starting to get for you, I texted someone who had coached recently at Catholic PC and said, um, hey, who is the biggest recruit to come out of Catholic-Pointe Coupee, and is it going to be Matthew Langlois? And when you hear people start to talk about you like that, you mentioned how important it's been to you to stay humble, but what is that like to hear your name mentioned in that sort of a conversation, even if you're not there yet, just the fact that that's a possibility for you, and to be around town and see people react the way they have, and every time you post a new offer, Twitter goes crazy and everyone's excited. What I mean, what is that like for you, still getting ready for your senior year of high school uh, to have some of that attention and some of those accolades?
It's kind of like a dream come true. Like I said, I always wanted to play D1 football. Big college football. I've always grown up watching football, and some of these schools that have offered me, I used to watch when I was little, and dreamed about playing there. So yeah, it's great. Part of making history a Catholic. I'm still doing it next year. Hopefully, I can do more. But yeah, it's a little. It's not overwhelming, but it's a lot. But I'm enjoying it all, so it's a great thing to be a part.
You mentioned the senior year and some big expectations for your next year. So we'll come back to some of the recruiting stuff. But you guys, as we'd mentioned, you had such a great season your junior year, and get to the Superdome and really fulfill a big goal for the program to get to that point. And now you have another year to complete the even bigger mission. What's kind of the mindset and some of the conversations that you guys have had as you wound down that year and started turning the focus toward what's ahead still?
Our mindset's just to kind of stay low and work. It's kind of what we did last year. I'm sure no one in the state of Louisiana thought we're making it to the state championship. Even our family members probably didn't even think that. But we had talks as a team. Our seniors talked to us, and a few juniors, like I talked to the team, and we all believed we could do it, and we did it. Never gave up. Even when we played some big, pretty good schools, we ended up beating them. And eventually made it. So it's the same mindset next year. For the upcoming seniors and myself, we just got to relay the same message we had last year, and just continue working and help the underclassmen, progress and develop so they can help us on the field, and they can help the people under them too. So yeah, just same mindset, just one goal, state championship again, but we want to win it this time.
What is your biggest takeaway from your opportunity to play in that dome this past year and play for a state championship and all of those things? I guess sometimes just the experience of being there the first time can give you some lessons that you can then take forward to future seasons. What did you take from that experience?
Um, a few things. The game was very fast. That's probably the fastest game I've ever played in. It was just, I guess I had a bunch of adrenaline the whole time, and on being under those lights, and those bright Mercedes-Benz Superdome lights just shining, and it's a lot. Big stage, the biggest stage I've ever played on. It was great though, walking out with my team. We had all the confidence in the world we're gonna win. Unfortunately, we didn't, but yeah, it was one of my most favorite memories of football ever, and hopefully, that's the goal again to make it back there next year.
There it was kind of I guess a controversial thing where some of these state championships were going to be played leading up to that, where the private school side was moving away from having been in the dome for so many years to some home field sites, and then you guys, you know, Catholic and OCS had worked it out to be able to still get that opportunity to play in the dome. Are you happy that that's where that game was played? I feel like talking to a lot of guys on the private school side that ultimately they would like to play in the Superdome, but there were some people that were really excited to play in Tulane or at UL or different places, or play actually at their home field. What's kind of your takeaway on that and what it meant to you?
Um, Myself personally, I would rather play in a dome than anywhere else. That's why people call it Road to the Dome. Everyone wants to make it to the dome. Everyone around me, my team, I know OCS wanted to make it to the dome too. So yeah, we definitely just wanted to go to the dome. Obviously, that's a big thing recently. The dome, everyone calls it the dome, Road
Yeah.
to the Dome. Yeah, I would much rather play there than, Tulane or wherever else we were gonna play, but, yeah, I think I'm speaking for the majority of people, I'd say, or at least that I've heard of, but, yeah, I'd much rather play in a dome than anywhere else.
Yeah, it kind of became the synonymous, like you mentioned, the road to the dome. It just the way it had been played for so long that kind of became the way it was viewed. But we'll see how it progresses. For you, some of these college conversations, I guess, getting back to the recruiting side, what have those conversations been like? What have been some of your biggest takeaways uh, from just different conversations with coaches at different schools, and the things that they're telling you that they like about your game, and the things that you're hearing that kind of catch your attention about some of their programs and some of the opportunities that may be ahead?
Yeah, I get to learn different personalities from different coaching staffs. You can tell what coaching staffs and what schools want you more than others. They, they when they talk about my game, what they like about me, they like my physicality. Obviously, I'm pretty fast, and I know football pretty well. Football IQ, coverages, whatever, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, for the most part, they just like how I play the game of football. How I like to hit. I have the ball in my hand. I like to make plays on defense. I like to make plays also. So, just I'm being recruited as a safety right now for the most part. But yeah, just that's about it.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you too. Was about your fit, because you play so many different roles, the high school level, and I mean have established yourself as well as being great on the defensive side of the football as one of the top running back uh, I mean, I think one of the better running backs coming out of Louisiana right now, and there's kind of a group of y'all that there's 4 or 5 other guys that are being recruited pretty strictly as running back, and then you kind of have that versatility. So I was interested to hear you you feel pretty good about the safety side of things.
Yeah, yeah. I'll tell every college wherever they need me, I'll play. In college, I'm not gonna be playing 14 different positions like I am right now. Not actually, I'm not exaggerating, but yeah, that's what I tell everyone. They all ask me where I would want to play at. Um, that's what I tell them. They all say safety for the most part. But yeah, like you said, running back, I can run that ball too. I was kind of surprised I was being recruited as a safety at first. When my recruiting started, but yeah, I mean, I can play running back too, so it doesn't really matter to me.
Have any of the schools that have offered you thus far that you've started to hear from, were they schools that they were very heavily on your radar before, that you grew up with any certain affinity to? I know you have some family up in North Carolina close to Wake, and so that's kind of an interesting tidbit that not everybody might realize. Any other kind of ties, whether in a fan type way or just ties to different areas or programs?
Um, well, obviously the schools in Louisiana, I probably know more than some of the other schools that have offered me, just because I was born and raised in Louisiana. But yeah, I have a few cousins and stuff that live in Nashville, and they're or not Nashville. They live in White House, which is right by Nashville, and they're Vanderbilt fans. So they were pretty happy about that offer. But besides that, I never really had any ties or anything to any other school. Once I started my recruiting process, I got to learn more about different schools, and then I started reaching out to some schools, and some of them reached out back to me and offered. So yeah, I've learned a lot more about schools that I really never, thought of or looked at that I like now, and they're probably some of my top schools right now. But yeah.
As you're weighing some of these opportunities, what are some of the different factors that play into you? And if you have some on the academic side as well, if you have a major already in mind that you would like to major in or anything like that, what are both football and just overall decision when the time comes, different factors that are kind of priorities for you?
Um, Yeah. I like to go somewhere where I know they want me. I don't want to go somewhere where they just give me an offer and say I go there. Like, there's no point of them offering me and say I do go there and they didn't really want me that bad. They're probably not gonna play me or give me a chance. But like I said, I like to go somewhere where they actually want me, where I can see myself develop as a person and player, and also get a good degree. Like you said, I'm not sure what I want to major in. I have a few ideas and stuff, but yeah, mainly just a place where I can develop and get bigger, faster, stronger. Hopefully, have a chance at the NFL and also get a good degree at the same time. So
Talking to so many coaches from the schools outside of Louisiana, how many of them come into the calls already knowing how to pronounce your last name? Just because it's got that flair that you hear a little bit more down here than you do a lot of other places around the country.
mm, my bad, it's my dad. Yeah, none of them know how to say my last name for the most part. I think maybe one, but I doubt it. I always tell them Langwa. That's how you would pronounce it, Langlois. But yeah, once I do say my last name, they're like, "Ooh, French." I'm like, "Yeah, yes, sir." But yeah, for the most part, even some in-state coaches don't know how to say my last name. But yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, that's something that as you're recruiting had picked up, I was really interested to hear how that piece is going because that is one of those names that comes more to Louisiana culture than much of anywhere else. But that's all I got for you, man. I certainly appreciate your time and congrats on everything thus far and good luck continuing to stay active during the hopefully last pieces of this quarantine and you guys get a chance to get back together real soon.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you for having me on here.
Thanks, Matt.